Here we are then with song number 2 from Appetite for Destruction, It's So Easy, written by Guns N' Roses and one of the earlier kind of iterations of the band, West Arkeen. It's such a cool track, and actually this one really benefits from just somebody sitting there and breaking it down for you, which is what I'm going to do throughout this series of lessons, just to make it a little bit easier, because this is one of the more overlooked tracks from Appetite for Destruction, if we're going to be completely honest. I mean, you're competing with, you know, Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City, Night Train, for example. This one tends to get a bit lost in the mix, but there's a lot that we can learn from this, particularly how to play some of the fast bits. Some of the awkward solo lines are quite cool once you've kind of learnt how to master them. So we're going to tackle that. I hope you enjoy this t-shirt as well, which I managed to get hold of. Although I ordered another one, an official Guns N' Roses t-shirt, but it still hasn't arrived, so we're going to have to make do with this one, but I think it's pretty cool. So we're going to kick in with the intro, which begins with a bit of Duff McKagan rocking the bass. Well, you don't start off with a bass line that often in life, but we're going to do it today. So this one begins up here on the 11th and 12th frets, so that's the kind of general vibe here. We're in E flat tuning, by the way, so tuned down to semitone. And before Slash really kicks in, this is the Duff bass intro. So use your first and second finger, I think, probably for ease, and just practice going. So using hammer-ons and all down picks. And the thing to do is to master the rhythm. So I've written it out for you, and it goes exactly like this. So quite awkward, really. It's 2 2 3 3 2 2 2. That's the pattern. So 2, another 2, then there's 3, then there's 3, then there's 2, 2, and then 2 again. That's how you rock the intro there, which is not really a guitar line, so if you can't do that, don't worry, give yourself a break. Slash's intro is quite hard. I thought it was going like this. And I was getting really messy, and I realised watching a few live videos that the essential vibe of the intro riff is an offbeat up pick, so it's... Now, on the record and live, sometimes Slash does it in the root position, but using a doubled first finger. But other times when he plays it live, he does it up here on the 7th fret. So what I'd recommend is for the first 2 bars, doing it down here as I've written out in text. So 8 of those, and then switch up here. And then you've got these power chords coming. And then I'm going to go into verse 1, which we're going to carry on with in this video, because verse 1 really is where the song begins properly, and there's a little bit of unusualness to it, so I'm just going to play it for you quickly. So it's a little bit tough in that you're using probably what I would call an unusual fingering pattern that you wouldn't expect to be using. So it's the 1st and 3rd finger down here on this B flat. I would be tempted to do a 1st and 4th finger. But the reason that you don't, and the reason that Slash doesn't, is because it's actually harder to play it like that. If you play it with the first and third finger, and then you change to his arrangement of the G chord, it's easier than if you do first and fourth finger. So I totally get why he does it. So let's do it in his style. First and third finger on the first and third fret. That's an open string on the up pick, so. And then you're doing this chord. Forget the first finger, by the way, here on the second string. You're going to mute with your big fat second finger here. Because it sounds less messy than if you do play that note. It gets a little bit fuzzy, whereas if you get rid of it, a little bit clearer. So once again. And when you're doing that E power chord here, well, full chord, I should really say E minor, open second and third finger. Because that's what Slash does, because then you can just slide up. It's a nice little change over there. So let's run it through. And this is hard. And then you're coming around again. Once you practice it a few times, you find it's not too bad. The actual hardest bit is going from the E back to the B flat. If you're not used to being that low and spreading your fingers out so far. And just worth mentioning the picking pattern on the right hand here. So it's down, down, up. Down, up, down, down. And you can hit the top of that chord a bit more with the up pick. And then up on this open strings. So that's down, up, down. And then down, up. Back we go. Also, it's worth saying that the right hand can start to palm mute and to get involved and to make it a little bit more under control throughout the whole process. So I'm going to start adding in some palm muting now, just so you can hear the crunch that's coming. We'll leave it there for now. That's the end of part one, which is the intro and the verse for It's So Easy, which it kind of, I don't know, once you've broken it down, it becomes very doable, this track, but you've got to just take it slowly. The next bit's got two parts to it. We've got Slash's chunky chorus, which is kind of... And you've also got Izzy's line, which is like this. Which is really cool. So we'll get to that in part two of this video series, but thanks for watching. It's So Easy from Guns N' Roses, and we'll see you in part two.